This year is going to be interesting for McLaren. Both their drivers are going to be super young, and one of them's even going to be a rookie. Now, of course, coming in from F2, Oscar's kinda gonna have to be okay with the second driver seat. In today's video, we're going to talk about what Zak Brown's plan is for Oscar Piastri, so make sure to stay until the end of the video to learn all about it. First up, Zak Brown outlines Oscar's plan. First things first, let's all just admit that Oscar Piastri isn't an ordinary driver. He's a highly rated rookie, to be honest. Yes, he hasn't raced in F1, but he did win F2. So did Mick Schumacher. But here's the right thing, Schumacher was in a Haas. With all of McLaren's problems aside, their car is nothing like Haas. Not one bit. They have more money and a better, more well-experienced team. So it's going to be nice to see what he ends up pulling this year. We literally can't wait to see him on the grid and see how things turn out. It's going to be extremely exciting. And it seems that McLaren already has a plan in place for him, at least according to their CEO, Zak Brown. Brown has claimed that they won't be pressuring him to do better than or be close to Lando Norris, as Norris has been with McLaren for about 5 years now. He started as a reserve in 2018 and was promoted to a full-time driver in 2019. So it's going to be his 5th year with the team. We're excited to see what he'll bring. But the point is, Norris has a lot of experience, so it should be okay if he doesn't end up doing as well as folks expect him to. He still has a few years to prove he's worth it. At the same time, Piastri will definitely be strong. We mean, he literally won his F3 and F2 titles in his first seasons. But it's fine. Zak stated that it's more important that Piastri find his feet in a big team before getting into the results.
Leclerc, Sainz goes off the track, Russell goes through, Sainz comes back on just behind.
Next up, what did Zak say exactly? Talking to Speed Cafe, Zak Brown stated that, "I think Oscar, he's a very focused, mature, fast individual from everything that we've seen so far. His track record is much like Lando's in that he's kind of won everything in his first year along the way, which is pretty rare, which means you have got to be pretty special. So he's clearly smitten over his new driver." He further talked about how Oscar needs to be integrated into the team well, and he needs to ensure that he finds his place. Zak has reiterated that the rookie will have a ton of support from him and the rest of the team. At the same time, the CEO claims that they're going to ensure the team doesn't pressure him, because Brown acknowledges that it's difficult coming into a big team like McLaren, especially when you have a teammate that's incredibly quick on the grid. At the same time, he's sure that Oscar's going to settle in nicely, and that he's going to be a really good teammate for Lando Norris. Even Oscar's pretty excited about the whole thing. The Aussie stated that he's hoping to learn from Lando Norris, and that he's expecting the pair to have a good relationship. He stated that while he doesn't know Lando that well, he's expecting it'll work out well between the two. Lando and Sainz worked out well too, and so did Lando and Daniel. So we're gonna go ahead and say that yeah, Norris is a nice guy. We don't see why it should be an issue. Oscar also seems to be the kind of guy who's enthusiastic to know his colleagues.
Decent reaction from Max Verstappen, but Carlos Sainz is ahead of him. Leclerc into the first turn, it's wheel to...
Up next, Zak Brown attacks Alpine. So y'all remember what happened during this silly season, right? Well, here's what's up. Sebastian Vettel retired from Aston Martin. Instead, Fernando Alonso from Alpine took his place. Now, Oscar's been an Alpine junior driver for a long time. So naturally, without even consulting him, they announced that they're promoting him to the F1 race seat. Now, here's the thing, they genuinely didn't ask him at all. Plus, when they made the announcement, he was in Australia, where it was the middle of the night. So Oscar woke up to a bunch of calls and messages. Anyway, Oscar got up and he's like, nope, I will not be racing for Alpine. Anyway, a few days after that, he joined McLaren. Now, Alpine's boss was livid over the whole thing, and of course, he hated every bit of it, to the point where he claimed he was going to shut down Alpine's junior driver division. But Zak wasn't okay with this. He stated that Otmar is being unpleasant and inaccurate. Alpine even sued McLaren and lost. Yet, even then, Otmar stated that Piastri lacks integrity, just because he refused to join his team. And of course, as he should have, Brown defended Piastri quite seriously. He stated that there's a 21-year-old, and then there's an OEM, and the OEM is trying to take him to court, fight him, and accuse him of all sorts of unpleasant things. That's something that wasn't okay with the McLaren boss. Zak Brown further stated that he was happy and impressed at how Oscar kept his head down and focused on the right thing.
He's also then behind, obviously, Sainz, Ocon, Magnussen, Mick Schumacher.
What's more, Zak's impressed. Instead of going deeper into this whole mess, Oscar decided to let his driving do the talking. And here's the thing, Brown claimed that he's seen what Piastri can do around the track, and he's really fast. At the end of the day, isn't this what it's all about, how fast you are? You can talk and talk, but there's one thing that never lies, the stopwatch. Oh, and guess what the Alpine boss said? He stated that Piastri was told about his promotion to F1 after a sim session. At the same time, the young Aussie has claimed that no such thing has happened. He even called the whole thing bizarre. This really did get messy. Guess we'll have to wait for the new season of Drive to Survive to see what happened behind the doors. Before Alpine lost the court case, their team principal was actually quite confident that his team was going to end up retaining Oscar. Why he thought this is something we'll never be able to answer, because in the words of the McLaren CEO, it was a little silly of him to assume that, no? Zak further stated that Otmar was extremely confident, yet nothing really turned in his favor, rather than making bold claims and not being able to deliver on them. Yikes. You know what this means though, right? This means that in 2023, the McLaren-Alpine rivalry will get even more aggressive, and it might even get a little dirty. All we know is it'll be exciting.
Disappeared.
It's not helped, and look, Sainz is right on the tail of Max Verstappen as they...
Moving on, Piastri is excited to work with Norris. According to Oscar himself, he's extremely excited to be working with his new teammate. He is confident that he'll be able to have a good working relationship with him. And that's something that we don't doubt either. When there's a clear senior, a clear number one, then it's really easy for teammates to have harmony. Whenever two teammates are equals, that's when problems start happening. If you don't know what we're talking about, just think back to what happened when Daniel and Max were both in Red Bull together. That doesn't mean Piastri is not good though. He has a more than stellar record. He raced in Formula Renault Eurocup, Formula 3, and Formula 2. But let's be real here. Oscar's going to be entering F1, while Norris is going to be entering his 5th season. So unless Oscar wins the heck out of the first few battles with Lando, he's clearly going to be the number 2 driver. And the Briton has already established himself pretty well within the team and within the sport. He's become a proper part of it, a driver we don't expect to see going out anytime soon. Unless something really out of the blue happens, Norris is here to stay. So yeah, Oscar's going to have to make sure his relationship with the guy isn't poor, and it works out well for everyone involved. Oscar did mention that he has a few mutual friends with the guy, so hopefully that'll mean they can both start off on the right foot. At the same time, their junior careers have been awfully similar too, despite Norris starting off so early.
Like his afternoon has been ending way earlier than he would have wanted.
Sainz going the long...
Finishing up, what else did the young gun say? Oscar talked about how he's looking forward to showing all the skills that he has, and how he's really looking forward to learning more from his current teammate. They might be on different career paths, but their age isn't really so different. At the same time, the Aussie's confident that his partnership with Norris will make McLaren successful. He believes that with effort in all the right places, this team could be the one that's fighting for the championship, not for the king of the midfield position, which they also ended up losing. The last time McLaren won anything was all the way back in 2008 with Lewis Hamilton. But hey, that win is still more recent than Ferrari's. Alright, sorry for the uncalled for dig at Scuderia.
Been rather frustrated for a while, but now suddenly he's released to try and catch...
When talking about success with McLaren, Oscar stated that this is something that's been on the back of his mind for the longest time ever, and he knows that he's joining an extremely prestigious team. He stated that the team is extremely motivated to be back to the front, and he doesn't want to be the guy that focuses too much on the numbers. He just wants to do as well as he can and hopefully win a few things along the way. He stated that he's super excited because he's going to be a part of McLaren writing a new chapter of success. And this way, he'll get some successes along the way as well. McLaren finished 3rd in 2020, 4th in 2021, and 5th in 2022. So it really needs to work hard to change the direction of this trend. And on that note, that's a wrap for this video. Do you guys think that McLaren will be able to fight at the front in the coming few seasons? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.